Hello, it's me again, your boy, Skinny Penis. I'm just joking. It's Emily. It's been like 2 years because I forgot to do videos and things got really busy for a while. But I want to do a little life update because I remembered I had these little YouTube diary things and I kind of missed them. And one of my goals this year was to be creative, and this feels creative, so here we are. So, first off, I just kind of listened to the one from April of 24 and was like, okay, let's cover some of the same things, see where I'm at now. First thing is the wedding. Robert and I are getting married on September 27th of this year at the Cleveland Botanical Gardens. I have my dress. It's long and flowing and white with like a strapless top and little floral appliques, and I've got matching white embroidered floral Converse to go with it. Robert's going to be wearing his suit with a little green bow tie. We both have our rings. They were made by Finesse, I think is Ricardo is his name. Oh, no, Romero in Brecksville. So very exciting. I have my wedding band too. Our wedding party will be, my maid of honor is Taylor, and then my bridesmaids are Molly and Val, and then my friends Ree and KT, and then on the boys' side, Robert's best man is Brennan, and then his bridal party is Aaron, Zeke, Alex, and Sam. I asked Robert to do Sam, and he was fine with it, but very exciting. So in August of this summer, we're going to go to Hocking Hills for our combined bachelorette weekend, have a little silly little gay old time, so that'll be super fun. That's really the only trip that we're taking this summer because I had to take some time off for the wedding. So nothing else other than that. So at the Cleveland Botanical Gardens, Abra has helped plan so much of it. We're going to have a live string quartet. The food is beautiful. We have an awesome florist. The wedding color's green. I crocheted a big lace table runner and a giant doily that I turned into an umbrella to take pictures with, and some buntings. And then for the giveaways, I have Ohio-sourced wildflower seeds that I put into little green envelopes with, everybody gets a little green crocheted heart as well. So it's going to be really cute. That's our giveaway. And we had magnets for the invites, which actually went out recently. And I think next weekend, maybe in 2 weeks, is the wedding shower, which I didn't really want, but my mom and Aunt Josie and Aunt Busy really wanted it, so we're going to do that. So wedding is mostly together. Things are getting there. It's a little stressful, but it's still very exciting. Next thing on my list is tattoos. I just keep getting them every time it gets warm out. I get an itch only a needle can scratch, if you know what I mean. Let me think. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 if you count the little heart from Mom. So the most recent one I got was a little pigeon that is poking at a mole that I have that I always think looks like a tick, but now I'll know it's not a tick. And right underneath that is a little cow that I actually drew that reminds me of Black Cow, because I really wanted, like the Steely Dan song, because I really wanted a song, or a tattoo that made me think of Dad. Because I've got the little heart and the dragonfly for Mom, and the heart makes me think of Sam too. I got the cicada for Robert. I've got a handful for me. I got like the dog and the rabbit for pets, but I didn't have anything for my dad. And I know he doesn't really like tattoos, but I still wanted something that reminded me of him. So, little Steely Dan reference it is. Speaking of Steely Dan, really into Steely Dan the past like year and a half. Really into Breakfast in America and Supertramp. Really into ABBA. I still really like Bears and Trees. I still default that they're probably my favorite band. So, future Emily, do you still like Bears and Trees? If you haven't listened to them in a while, maybe go listen to them. Unless they like end up doing something horrible, then maybe not. But hopefully not. I don't see them doing that. But yeah, I still really like tattoos. I actually have a commission out for one right now that's like a bloodroot and some river oats and a Solomon seal. So whenever Fruit Blush, the same artist that did actually 4 of the tattoos I have now, is done with it, I'll go get that done. So tattoos are fun. Next order of business, Robert and I are in a house. I think the footage of this, I'll probably just take a candid video of what our house looks like right now, just to see what it looks like lived in. It's a rental in Wadsworth, but It fits really well for us. It's funny, when we moved out, when we first moved in the apartment, we were like, oh my god, this is so much space. And by the time it was time to move out, we were like, we don't have enough space to do anything. And then we moved into this house and we're like, oh my god, we have so much space. And now we've been here for a year and a couple of months, and we just grow to the size of our container. And we're like, oh, look at that, all the rooms are full. Like, we could use a little more space. So I don't know. That's just how we are. That happens we've got two people with a lot of hobbies and collections, but it's really nice. It's awesome to have a yard. There's fireflies at night. I finally get to, see some more birds. I put up a house for the last 2 years and we get house wrens. I fill up my bird feeders. I keep seeing mud dapper wasps eating at this little spot where I watered in the garden. It's the best. So even though it's a rental, we're making it ours, and I'm having a lot of fun with gardening this year. On to the grad school and work. So last time I recorded this, I was right before the summer of grad school research. I am finished with grad school. I graduated from Kent in May of 2025. It was hard fought. It was hard fought. I just the other week, I was looking back at the journal I kept for, therapy appointments while I was in Kent. And reading through some of that stuff, I'm like, holy shit, I think that those 2 years were probably the most stressed I'd ever been in my life. And undergrad was stressful, high school was stressful, middle school was stressful, Emily's always a stressed girl, but those were something else. I don't think I ever broke down crying that much. I don't think I gave up on as many things as I loved during that time. It was really something else. But I made it through. I defended my thesis, all 148 fucking pages of it, because David wanted me to write so goddamn much. But I passed, did my defense. I even presented at a plant conference at OSU, so that was cool. And then I also presented for the Garden Club of America Cleveland chapter, because I got a scholarship from them, so that was cool too. I know we sent the paper out for publication, and then I think David ended up writing a second one based off of the fine root analysis, because he was really determined, so I helped write part of it, but then I was like, I'm leaving, goodbye. So I don't even know if they got published, and frankly, I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm done with the academic world. But basically, immediately after finishing grad school, I tried my damnedest to get a full-time job somewhere, but it just wasn't happening. So I got a full-time seasonal, temporary job at West Creek Reservation in Cleveland Metro Parks. It was 6 months. I started in May and it went till November. And it was amazing. Truly amazing. It was hard. And about a month and a half into me being there, one guy got fired and another lady left for another job. So they were already down one person. So we suddenly went from decently fully staffed to, oh my god, we only have one full-time naturalist and the two seasonals get to do everything. So it was crazy, but it also meant that Emily got to do a lot of things that I might not have gotten to do otherwise. I helped very much and basically planned and ran my own summer camp, and helped a lot with leading other ones. I got to do several of my own programs. I did so many outreaches and did the planning and stuff. I did so many tables. I did so many school visits. I was just a full-blown naturalist minus some email privileges for a couple months. And it was really, really fantastic for my first full-time big boy naturalist job. So I really loved it there. And part of the reason I really loved it there was because of the people I worked with. Maddie Bocci was my Nat 2, or the lady directly above me, and she started in March. So we were both kind of figuring out together. I was her first seasonal. So it was my first season, it was her first time having seasonals, and the other seasonal's name was Amelia, and I got really close with her too. They're both invited to the wedding. I love these girls. And I couldn't have asked for a better experience for a first real boss in what I consider my first real I'm done with school job. Just understanding and forgiving and wanted to see me succeed and was willing to be candid with me and just everything I could ever look for. And I hope if one day I ever am in a position to be a supervisor that I can do even half as good as Maddie did for me in that short time. halfway through, my season at West Creek, I go, okay. Oh, and also, above Maddie was Jake. Jake Carduna. I don't know how you say his last name, but super, super cool dude. Knows a ton of stuff. Another really great boss. I'm so thankful I got to have as much time with him as I did, and I hope that last summer is not the last time that I work at West Creek, and I know it won't be the last time I work for Cleveland Metro Parks. Damn, mark my fucking words. But in September of 2025, so most of the way through my season at West Creek, I go, damn, I really got to get another job after this, because I was, scared of not having a job, got to pay the bills, and also didn't want to have a gap on my resume, so I was applying to everything under the sun, and I eventually got offered a part-time, permanent, year-round position at the Environmental Education Center in Cuyahoga Valley National Park. And I knew it wasn't exactly what I wanted. It wasn't a naturalist job, but it was at least outdoor education. It's in a place that I like, and it was full-time. Or not full-time, but permanent. So I was like, all right, let's do it. So for the last, month and a half of West Creek, I double-dipped and did 3 days at West Creek, 3 days at the EEC. So I was working 6 days a week, kind of running myself ragged. It was tough, but I wasn't about to leave West Creek, and I was desperate for a permanent job, so I wasn't about to leave the EEC too. So I made it work. And the EEC, I would give the whole thing like a B- experience. There were some people there that I really fucked with, I really liked. I really liked Michael. I fucked with Kim. I fucked with Isabel, and I kind of fucked with Kevin. Everybody else, they were all right, I think everybody had things that I could learn from them and things that I could contribute to, but my main gripe with the place is they handed you a binder of lessons and said, teach these. They didn't want you to make your own programs, and sometimes when I would go and say, hey, could I do this thing? Could I improve this thing? Even small things like, hey, can I make a new poster because we've been using the same ones for 12 years? I would habitually and repeatedly be told no. So I think some of the management at that place, I think they were in a transitionary period, but I was catching some of the brunt of it. So I really didn't feel that place was using me to my full abilities, and I don't think I was getting everything I wanted out of it for my own development, my own career goals. So I think it was a good stepping stone. I don't regret working there at all. I made some really fantastic memories with some of the other instructors, and especially with some of the kids that I got to work with. And also, crazy full circle moment, I went there when I was in 6th grade, and I hated it. So to be an instructor there now is crazy. But, so I work at the EEC until March of this year, 2026. And I didn't even mention, today is July 4th, 2026. Happy 250th birthday, America. But in March of 2026, I started working at West Creek again as a seasonal, but part-time. So I started double dipping again, doing 3 and 3, so 6 days a week, and I knew it was going to be hard. And I didn't know how long I could do it for, but I was determined to at least try, so I could, 1, be with the people in the place that I loved at West Creek and include Metro Parks, and 2, so I could still keep working at the EEC, keep that money, keep that permanent job. And I did that for about a month and a half, 2 months, until halfway through April, I applied for a job at Summit Metro Parks because they posted a part-time naturalist gig. And I said, I'd work at Summit. It's this, I can't work at Cleveland, let's work at Summit. They're great too, right? And I didn't think it would go anywhere because I applied to a lot of things and none of them went anywhere. But they called me back. I had an interview 2 days later, and 2 days after that, they offered me the job. And I had to, the EEC, there was a couple people I missed. I said bye to them. I still hang out with Michael, and I've hung out with Isabel outside of work once or twice too. I said bye, EEC, whatever. But leaving West Creek. Oh my God. I've been at Summit now for a little over a month, and there's still so much stuff I miss about West Creek. And I know I could just drive over there, and I have the letter that Maddie wrote me before I left in my desk at Summit Lake, where I am now for Summit Metro Parks. And I read that letter kind of often. I just remember she ended it with, "I'll see you as a naturalist for Cleveland Metro Parks soon," underlined. And she included a poem. I don't remember the exact name now. I'll hopefully try to remember it and put the author of it in the description of this video. But I remember the last couple lines of it really, really stick with me. And I think about them on a damn near daily basis. And I have it written on a sticky note right in front of my computer. So I look at it damn near every day that I'm there. And it says, I might miss a couple words here, but "I'm learning to be at the sky's mercy and call it only that. Maybe I'll manage. Maybe I'll turn back." I think about it a lot. So I don't know if Maddie knows how much those 6 months and some change meant to me, but they really, really meant so much. And I'm carrying them with me every day. But I'm at Summit Metro Parks now, and that's pretty cool. It's a part-time, permanent naturalist gig, and I'm at Summit Lake Nature Center. I wasn't, I didn't get to choose which center I was at. I just said, yes, I'll take the job. And they put me at Summit Lake, and I'll be honest, at first I was like kind of devastated because I'm like, what the hell? It's just like a little building on the lake. Like, doesn't even have a park around it. And the vibe there is definitely very different. It's the smallest, it's the newest. It feels more like a community center with a nature theme than a true like nature center that I'm used to. But there is things to like about it. I do like the lake. I do like seeing some of the same, albeit sometimes weird people come in, but they are all very nice and they've got their own stories. And it's kind of interesting to see the community that has, been there and this nature center has been accepted into. So I'm finding things to love. We'll see where I end up next, but for now I'm pretty happy. It's only been a month. I'm sure that's easy for me to say, but I'm just trying to make the most of every single day, constantly learning things, doing as many impromptu programs and rows and extra trainings as I can to make myself as desirable as possible. And there's an older fellow named Joe M. I can't remember what his name is, but he's like 70. He's been at Summit Metro Parks for like 13 years. He's retiring in April. He works up at Liberty in the North region. And everyone you talk to is like, "Oh yeah, Joe knows everything. Go talk to Joe. He knows everything." And I immediately was like, I need to be friends with this guy. I need to learn stuff from Joe. So I've been trying to weasel in my opportunities to learn what I can from Joe, pick up things that maybe Joe is leaving behind. Like, he's even been giving me some of his old program materials so I can hopefully do a similar program. So I really appreciate that. And he seems to take a liking to me, or at least tolerates me sending him pictures of mushrooms and moths, so I'll take it. But I remember it was like maybe the second time I ever talked to him. I was at the Nature Realm, we were there for a meeting, and like right before the meeting, he is like, "Hey Emily, can I talk to you for a second?" I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he like literally pulls me into another room. He's like takes a long pause. You can tell he's thinking. He just goes, "You need to make yourself indispensable, and you will go far in this job and every job." And I feel like I've known that to a degree. I think I got similar advice from Maddie or Jake, because they also gave me some career advice, but hearing it from Joe, somebody who's been around, somebody who's on his way out, has seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, and is throwing his hat out of the ring because he's just tired. It meant a lot. And I think about it almost just about as much as I think about that poem from Maddie. How do I make myself indispensable? How do I make myself indispensable? At work, to other people, in any aspect of life. How do I make myself indispensable, even to myself? And that's just something I'm grappling with right now and working on. But, yeah. So, things are looking up for Summit Metro Parks. I'm here for it. It's whatever. I'm already rambling so much. I'm still really good friends with Molly and Val. We still play D&D, but it's on an infrequent basis. But we hang out, we watch movies, we do crafts. It's great. I'm done at Kent. I don't know where I'm heading next. Probably within the next few years, Robert and I will hopefully buy a house or at least move somewhere else. We've got the trip in August for the Bachelor/Bachelorette party. And then the following spring, I think maybe May, we're going to do a 2-week honeymoon to Japan, Tokyo, Kyoto, Nara, all of that. We're figuring it out. It's been an interesting year for my family. My dad's doing okay. Sam has had some ups and downs. He broke up with his girlfriend, Clara, and he went through a really rough period for a while, but I think he's slowly figuring himself out, finding his stride in his own way. He still lives in Columbus, but moved apartments recently, and he has like one more semester, just like, I think he's got like 3 credits left, and then he graduates, but he's getting there. He's figuring himself out. Highs and lows. My mom had a brain tumor removed in March of this year. So March was crazy. It was like starting a new job, working 6 days a week. Oh yeah, mom has a brain tumor on her pituitary gland, and it's been what's fucking up her health for the last 4 years. So that was a really, really scary. That was a really scary couple of months, because she told us maybe like a couple months before, sometime in January, I think. So I'm so very, very thankful that everything went okay, and you know, it's been a long recovery, but things are looking up. She had an MRI like just the other week, and it said there's no residual tumor. So it was really scary to be faced with the realization of, you know, your parents don't live forever, and that's just part of growing up. And I know they've only got so much time. That's how getting old is. God, Dad just turned 60 last month. But for it to happen that fast, of within a month, like 2 months, being like, hey, I know I have this thing. I'm going to have this surgery. I could die on the operating table. Because it was like on her carotid artery, one little nick, and she could have bled out. But she made it. She's okay. And she's going to be at my wedding. And she might be around for when me and Robert adopt a kid. Which is, I think, on the docket. We'll see how life pans out, but I think we'd be down for it. So I'm just very thankful to have any extra time with her. And we still go to art shows. We're going out to literally buy a dress for the wedding shower and boop around World Market tomorrow. So I find reasons to hang with her, but I'm just glad that she's still in my life. Speaking of life, I feel like my relationship with my body has improved. I haven't had real symptoms of eating disorder in years at this point. I almost never even think about myself in a really negative way, and it's taken a lot of effort. It still happens sometimes, especially if I overeat, but I think I'm doing a lot better than I used to be. And I started really trying to monitor my exercising and what I was putting into myself, you know, calorie-wise and just, you know, general food decision-wise in, like, fall of last year. I think it was, like, the end of August into September. And I have lost just about 20 pounds since then. I've really stagnated in the last, like, 5 months, really since, like, Christmas.
Come on.
Because I...
Right here.
You know, life's been busy, and I'm chilling at about, like, 180. And
Yeah,
that used to be, like, the weight my body was at before grad school, and I got really stressed and was bad at it, but...
Come on. Bring it here.
I'm proud of myself. And Robert's been working on losing weight, too, and even though I've kind of stagnated on the weight loss thing, I still feel like I'm being healthy. I feel like I'm building some muscles. I'm being active. And this is really the best I felt about my body in a long time. So, there's still work to be done. It is a never-ending battle. But I think I'm a lot better than I used to be, and I'm really proud of myself for that. And then 2 more random things I have. Spirituality. I don't think I'm as actively thinking about it as 2 years ago because I talked about braiding sweetgrass and shit for a while back in the last 2 videos that I watched before I recorded this, but I still think about it regularly, and I think I'm just in a happy place. I think I know better where I stand. I still thank the forest or the lake when I'm passing through it. I say sorry to the plants that I accidentally have to step on while I'm weeding. I say hello to every little bug and mouse and thing that I see and say, who is this? Who are you? I try to instill those beliefs in the people that I educate with. One of my favorite things is making kids thank trees when you're hiking on a trail and you got the perfect little steps that made from the roots, and I say, thank you, trees, and then you hear all the little kids go, thank you, trees, and it's really cute. So, little ways. I find myself very connected to lavender. I don't know why. I think it's just because I think it smells nice, but if I do a little moment of appreciating something spiritually, giving back to the earth or whatever, I find myself connecting with that plant. Last thing I had is recent interests in crafts. I still crochet like a mad woman. I still knit like a mad woman. I've been macrameing a fair bit. I'm working on a big piece on Lake Erie driftwood to either have at the wedding or just to have for fun. Tying the knot. Oh my god.
Are you done?
I do cross stitch and embroidery, occasionally. Last summer, I got really into pony beads, like, bead lizards and animals and shit. I love that stuff. Literally today, I did a pop-up for 25 people, and we just made bead animals, and it was kick-ass. So, really, really focus on pony beads. I got a sewing machine and a little table. I'm sure I'll post that in the video of the house tour. But I'm not great at it, but it's fun. I've made some scrunchies. I made some clothes for the dog. I made a little bandana for one of my plushies. Yeah, those are most of the crafts. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. As for other recent interests, oh boy, your girl loves collecting. I still have a lot of plushies, which I mentioned in the last one. I think I've slowed down on purchasing them. I've even resold or given some away, because I was like, nah, Emily, you definitely bought too many. But, I think it was like spring of 25 or something, I bought, kind of on a whim, kind of after looking at it for a while, a Monster High doll. It was the Fear Book Twyla, and she's so cute. She was my first one. And it was a weird hurdle to jump through to allow myself to purchase a doll as a then 25-year-old woman for like the first time I'd ever bought myself a doll. Because I really didn't have dolls much as a kid, other than American Girl dolls, but like, most of my memories of Barbies is literally cutting them up with hatchets and burning them, because that's what I thought was funny. I sound like a maniac. I just didn't fuck with dolls, right? But I remember other people having Monster High dolls and thinking they were kind of cool, but I was like, no, I don't like dolls. I can't get a doll. So as a 25-year-old being like, I think I want this object. I think it's fun. I remember standing in the aisle of that Target for like 10 minutes, just staring at this doll in this box, being like, am I allowed to do this? Is this okay? Should I be feeling the shame I'm feeling, or does it matter? Am I allowed to have fun? And I eventually just said fuck it and bought the doll. And now I have like 6 Monster High dolls, and I got some really cool kind of monster animal girl dolls from Penny's Box, which is a ball-jointed doll company from China. And I have I have like a mushroom-themed girl and a moth-themed girl, but yeah, I've just been enjoying dolls. I think they're kind of fun to pose. I like the little details on their clothes. I got into calico critters or Sylvanian families. I bought way too many at once, but now they're all in a little house, and they're cute, and they sit on my desk. I also got really into Littlest Pet Shops. Oh my god, when I was in grad school, I think I was just in a bad place and looking for anything that brought me comfort. And one day, Taylor and I were at a Target, and we saw Littlest Pet Shop's blind boxes, and we were both just like, holy shit, they started making Littlest Pet Shops again. And it started with one. It was like a little donkey. And then I went back and bought another, and then I bought another, and then I went onto eBay and rebought a bunch of the ones that I had as a kid. And now I have like over 100. But I really like them. My friend Dina has customized a couple. That's Kimmy's girlfriend. They're just fun. So now I periodically will pick up a new one as a new wave comes out, but Not to brag, I have all of the Greyhound mold because it's my favorite, so that's pretty cool. Including the rare European exclusive blue Greyhound, so don't even at me. So, like Little's Pet Shops, I like plushies, I like dolls, I like beads, I still collect pins, I got a lot of pinned insects. Bones? Oh my god, I have a lot of bones. I got a lot of skulls. Some of them I've cleaned, some of them Aaron goes to flea markets a lot and he'll get me some. Some of them were gifts from mom or we bought at a convention together, so yeah, I like collecting. Robert's doing great. He's, working at the family business. He's really found his own stride. He's even got people under him now. They moved into a new location that's a little more form fit for them, and they don't have the same crappy landlord they had for forever, so that's nice. He really likes physical media. I swear to God, every time he goes to a Goodwill or a yard sale unattended, he comes back with a bag of old games and DVDs and movies and CDs and stuff. He likes to tinker with stuff. He's, fixed up some old iPods and speakers, or if anything goes out in the house, he tears it apart, looks at the insides, puts it back together, fixes it and stuff, so he's really handy. And I love finding ways. There's new ways to love him every single day. Just last night, it was January 3rd, and it's the night before 4th of July, right? So people are putting off fireworks. It's also thunderstorming, but it was that nice kind of thunderstorm where you can see it and feel it and hear it, but most of it has passed. Yours just missing you. So you get all the benefits of a thunderstorm with none of the scariness of it being like right over your house, like, oh my god, a tree's gonna hit us. So we're listening to the thunderstorm, and we're seeing the occasional firework go off down the street or across town, and watching the fireflies go off in the yard all around us, the Big Dipper ones. He sat out there for easily 30 minutes, just looking at all the lights, talking about life. I asked him a question we would ask the kids at the EEC of, what do you think a river would dream of? We talked about that. I just really love all the little moments with him. Even simple things like hugging each other while somebody's cooking. Or always kissing each other's little heads before we go to bed. Making sure you say I love you before you walk out the door. Everything. So, I think I rambled for far too long. We'll see when I remember to make another one of these. Future Emily, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having fun with your husband. I hope your pets are good. Atticus is 5 now. Hemi is 3. He just gave us a recent health scare with GI stasis, but he's okay now. Fucking $500 in an x-ray later. Oh my god. But still happy to have him. Finally got that fish tank. I mentioned in the last video I wanted a fish tank. I got a little 10-gallon now. I got some coolie loaches. I got a neurite snail. I got a betta fish. My first ever female betta fish. Her name is Gladys. She's kind of ugly, but I love her. And then I have a bunch of celestial pearl danios, so they're cool. I still have a bunch of houseplants too, but yeah, I hope future Emily is doing okay. I hope anyone else that happens to listen to this and actually listen to all 30 minutes of this, bless your heart. But yeah, peace.